All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. It's another week. We're here with me, Adam. I always say me, Adam Schmidt. I'm Chris Witt. He's Adam Schmidt. He's my cousin. We're the Nosebleeds. Adam, how are you today?
I don't mind being you. I mean, I feel like you have a pretty good life. So if you want to switch, we'll switch it up.
Nah, man, you're good. You got a good life. I got a good life. We'll just keep it rolling.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We just keep it rolling together.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I'm doing great, though. How are you?
If I was any better, I'd be you. All right, we got a lot of stuff to go over today on the podcast. So today, Adam Schmidt, we've got some bowl game talk. We want to talk a little bit about what we think about players in bowl games. We got Urban Meyer retiring. Officially forever from football, so he says.
Well,
we'll see. Crosstown Shootout. We're a Cincinnati-based podcast, so we're big, as you can see. If you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook Live, you can see we're all Cincinnati behind us. Xavier, UC, Reds, Bengals, big Cincinnati. So the Crosstown Shootout's coming out this weekend. I'm excited about that. It's my absolute favorite game of the year. There is nothing better than the Crosstown Shootout. Since I was a baby, it's been my favorite thing in the world.
For a diehard Xavier fan, I can imagine.
Yeah, and then of course we got our big three that we'll go over. So once again, we are the Nosebleeds. You can catch us on Facebook at the Nosebleeds Podcast. Nosebleeds Podcast. Follow us on there. Hit us up if you want to be friends. Tell us what you think about everything. We got some different lighting going on these days on the Facebook Live. We do the Facebook Live every Wednesday night at 10:30. So check it out. And there you go. You can also catch us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, iTunes, SoundCloud, Castbox, YouTube. You want to shout out your Twitter real quick?
Sure. It's at Adam Schmidt 44.
Nice. I'm at Sick with it. Yeah. I don't know what we'll say. I'm at Sick with it. All right. So let's start off with something that we do. We put a little poll together, try to get a little interactive with the fans. We are in the second round of the Final Four was this week, and it was
Jeremy Lin, the number 2 seed, versus Lonnie Walker.
The
number 3 seed. Number 2 versus number 3.
Right.
Our first upset.
It was the very first upset. The floating hat knocks out Jeremy Lin. Final voting came out 60-40 for the floating hat. So congratulations to our friend
Lonnie Walker.
Actually, I'm looking at it right now. I put Jeremy Lin versus Jeremy Lin.
I saw that
post. Yeah, good work, Chris.
That. It's actually Lonnie Walker.
Yeah, Lonnie Walker, the floating hat. So we got
you guys know
Lonnie Walker, the floating hat, versus the human umbrella hair in Elfrid Payton. This is going to be fun. We'll see. Who can take it over. That is going to go this week. Vote. Get on there, and make it happen.
Vote. This is the championship. We need you. Our first tournament, the ugliest man in baseball history tournament.
Yeah.
Ended in a tie in the championship.
The worst thing that could ever happen.
Worst thing ever to Chris. Best thing ever to me.
Mr. Tie. I want everyone to have a medal. I want to give 5 MVP trophies out every year. Adam Schmidt was so happy that it ended in a tie. So worst hairstyle in NBA. That's in. And by the way, Joakim Noah, who we had in this because we said they had to be active players,
is now an active player.
Joakim Noah is now an active player. Thank you for doing that.
Sign with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Way to go, Grizzlies, who are deciding to put together a completely different type of NBA team than anybody else in all of basketball.
They're still winning, too.
Yeah, they're going hard-nosed defense, which nobody in the NBA does. So congratulations to him, even though he lost in the first round. There you go. All right, so let's get on to football. We do picks every week. I'm getting smoked. Adam, tell me how we did.
We both went 2-1 this week. All right. So I had Denver in the game against Cincinnati. Of course, they beat Cincinnati. I had Houston against Cleveland. Houston won that one. And then I had Kansas City, who was a 15-point favorite over Oakland. And that game That was a 7-point game. So I got the loss on that. Kansas City won, but only won by 7. So I'm 2-1. You had Oakland and the LA Rams correct.
Yep.
And then you had the Cleveland game. The Cleveland game wrong. They got beat pretty badly by Houston. But so both 2-1 this week. Last week, I should say. This coming week. I have the New York Giants are at the Washington Redskins. Redskins are a 3.5-point underdog. I'm taking the Redskins. Indiana is at the Houston Oilers again. The Houston Texans.
Houston Oilers.
Houston Oilers. Houston is a 4.5-point favorite. I'm taking Houston there. Carolina is at Cleveland. Cleveland is a 1-point underdog. I'm taking Carolina in that one. So I've got Washington, Houston, Carolina.
Okay. Let me pull up these spreads for the first time and see what we got.
I love that you do this spur of the moment. That's incredible because I sit there forever and
that's
just
why
mull
you're killing
over
me.
this.
What is the score? What's the score right now? How bad is it?
I'm 21-15 on the year, and you are 11-25.
That's absolutely horrible. All right, so let's start off. We're going to take I am going to take New Orleans in Tampa Bay. I think they're going to have a comeback week here. They're going to beat the brakes off of Tampa Bay, -8. Let's go. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to take Miami plus the 7.5 in Miami against New England. I think that's a touchdown win, so I'll take the hook. And
Miami's had their number for 3 or 4 years.
I'll catch that. And then we're going to take Carolina -2 against Cleveland.
Okay, so it's -2 now. It was
What did you have it at?
It was 1, but I looked yesterday. So we said we would take it on Wednesday.
Did you take Carolina or Cleveland?
I took Carolina.
We both took them, so we'll both take them. We both got them.
2 points.
Okay.
2 points is the spread.
Sounds good. All right, so that's that. All right, let's get off of that because that's not even fun because I'm getting beat so bad. We're done. We're not going to talk about those picks.
What are you talking about? I think it's really fun.
Yeah, I bet you do. You're smoking me. So anyway, if you are just now joining the Nosebleed Sports Podcast, do not take any picks that I take. I am currently getting smoked. Adam's doing well, and that's that. So, Bengals. Do we want to talk about the Bengals? Normally, this would be a week that our Bengals insider, Andre Edwards, would join us. Andre, we love you, brother. He kind of chickened out. He's so salty about how bad this team is. He didn't even want to talk about it. He didn't even want to come on here and vent about how they've got 15 guys on IR. 15 guys.
I wish we had that many in our fantasy league.
Yeah, I hear you. So let me tell you, I wish we had that many IR spots too.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that Marvin Lewis is gonna get. They're gonna pick up that second-year option because they're gonna say, well, he did really good until everybody in the world got hurt.
And here's what I think. So they have the Chargers this week, correct? The Los Angeles Chargers. They're in LA for the Chargers. I assume a loss there, right? And then they are back in Cincinnati against Oakland. That's the game, to me, if you lose to the Chargers and if you lose at home to Oakland, that's the one where I think if there's a chance that Marvin Lewis is let go before the end of the season, it's after that game where they lost. That would be, 6 straight losses?
It's not going to happen in the middle of the season. They're not going to get rid of him, even though they got Hugh Jackson there. There's absolutely no way. They don't fire coaches in the middle. They don't do things like real teams. The Packers just fired Mike McCarthy immediately after they lost the game.
Yeah.
That's they lost. That's it. You're done. See ya. We've had enough. Mike Brown likes to sit back, think about it, take a bath, light some candles. Then by the time he comes back, he's like, you know what? Marvin's got a cute smile. Let's keep him around.
Does he?
He's really positive.
No, he's not. Not in his press conferences.
No, in his press conferences, he's terrible. Anyway, I don't want to talk about the Bengals. Let me
say one thing.
Say one thing.
no matter whether they're your starters, they're veterans, rookies, I don't care. 12 penalties for 100 yards for any football team on any level is so unacceptable. And that's the second. I think the week before they had like 90-something yards in penalties. Yep. I mean, that is
undisciplined football
that's
team.
So undisciplined. And how are you that undisciplined? To me, that says a lot about coaching.
That's
to me,
that's all coaching. That's all coaching.
I don't know.
Look at you. Why have the Patriots won so many close games? Why have the Patriots been good for so long? Because there's no penalties. They never have any penalties. They are
always
the least penalized team in all of football for the last 5 straight years. There's a reason they are as good as they are, because they're disciplined and their coaching probably gets in their ass. Mm-hmm. You ever seen Marvin Lewis getting anybody? No. Somebody does something wrong, he walks over and he claps his hands, smiles at him, pats him on the back. I'm not doing this. I'm not getting into the Bengals. I'm not doing it. Andre is going to come back with us end of the year. My 11-5 Bengals that's obviously not going to happen. So, Andre, we appreciate all the love, brother, and we'll see you. We'll see you at the end of the season instead of this week. Thank you for coming on. Check him out, LockedOnBengals.com, at Andre Edwards 06. Great follow on Twitter.
Yes.
The man's an unbelievable writer on LockedOnBengals.com, and he also comes on our podcast, so you can't beat that.
No. Nope.
Even if he is writing about the Bengals.
We always appreciate Andre, and we'll give him a little break until the end of the year so he can compose his thoughts and get some sleep, so he's not up at 11 o'clock at night doing our podcast.
So what do you think about this? What Urban Meyer coming to the Bengals?
I'd be down for that. The guy has won every single place he's ever coached.
Yes.
He's one of the most winning coaches, I'm sure, one of the most winning coaches in college football history. I'm sure of it. He's got
winning percentage-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his total winning percentage is 86 point something.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So, Urban Meyer retires. They have a press conference. Did you notice who was not at the press conference?
That assistant coach that he fired in June that beat up his wife. Zach Smith, I think it was.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't there, but I was thinking more along the lines of the president. The president did not show up. That's always been the big thing, is everybody says that him and the president had a bunch of beef. They didn't get along. Him and the AD have always been real close, and they had a very candid, fun, I don't know about fun, but a very candid press conference the other day. Urban was asked some tough questions, and you know what? I think he was pretty honest.
Yeah.
It's a health thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing that happened to him at Florida. I believe there's a lot of health issues.
Definitely.
But when they asked him if the Zach Smith issues had anything to do with it, he said they didn't have anything to do with the headaches, but it did have something to do with this.
Sure.
So, there's and he says he's not going to coach. He says he loves staying in Columbus. He wants to be basically like a muse for the new coach. I've been in Columbus for the last 2 days listening to all this, and now I can't think of the daggone offensive coordinator's name.
Oh, Ryan. Yep.
There you go. So he's going to take over, and he says he's going to be there. He'll be there on campus for recruits when they come in. He'll talk to recruits, stuff like that. But this guy's got to take over this team and make it his own. But, I mean, obviously, if Urban's going to be there, you take it. So we'll see how that goes.
The man, Urban Meyer, was 186-32 in his college football career, and he will end his. I mean, he's still going to coach the bowl game for them. So that'll be his last game, though, and so I mean, it'll be probably 187-32. But like you said, he was a head coach in bowl games. Seasons at Ohio State. That's unbelievable. For the schedule they played, just in being in the Big Ten alone, playing a Big Ten schedule plus whoever. I mean, yeah, they schedule cupcakes in the beginning of the year like everybody else does, but still to be 82-9, and you play Wisconsin every year, Michigan every year, Northwestern's good now. Like all the Michigan State, these that's a tough schedule every year that they play, and they were good every single year that he coached there. He's gonna have a good team no matter where he coaches.
Yeah.
And he'll probably coach again. Honestly, I know he said he wouldn't if he gets his health stuff.
He took 2 years off after Florida and came back. I think he just needs a couple years off is exactly what's going to happen. He'll go back to ESPN. He'll be a star at ESPN. He was great when he was there, relaxed, smiles all the time, feel healthy again. And, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if he went out to coach again. I don't know where that job would be. It'd have to be something special. I mean, it'd have to be Notre Dame, Alabama, Clemson. I don't know. I really LSU maybe. I don't know where it would have to be. He's basically got to the top, and I don't see him going anywhere except for even with that playing field. And how many jobs are really even with that playing field?
Yeah, all the best schools have their coaches in place, and I'll tell you what would be crazy if Jim Harbaugh was fired at Michigan.
That'll never happen. I can tell you this.
No, it would never happen.
Chance that's going to happen.
I agree.
Urban Meyer's an Ohio cat. He's an Ohio State dude. That might be the only job I can never see him taking.
Yeah, I agree.
Although, as a guy who doesn't have a dog in a fight,
wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be hilarious.
That would be good for people who do like a podcast or a radio show.
That'd be great for guys like that.
It would be great.
You know anybody like that?
Nope, don't know anybody.
There you go. So anyway, speaking of, he is going to coach in the bowl game though. Mm-hmm. Now, this year we got a record number of kids sitting out bowl games. It's happening more and more and more. Was it 2 years ago? Christian McCaffrey and an offensive lineman from Alabama or something like that sat out last year.
Leonard Fournette did too.
Leonard Fournette did it. A kid from Ohio State did last year. We've had things like this happen. It's what's his name? The Bosa. Yep. Bosa's little brother.
Nick Bosa.
He got hurt, and they thought he might be able to come back by the end of the year, and he decided to just hang it up and just get ready for the draft. If you're a kid and you're playing, and you know that you're going to be a first-round pick, how you feel about that? What do you think about these dudes?
I feel like you can look at it
Are you giving up on a team? Sorry.
You can look at it from two different perspectives and two different ways in each perspective. I think if you're the player, yes, you have to invest in your future. You made it through that, and look, there are no guys. So I think the count is 10 now. If you include Nick Bosa,
now?
If you include Nick Bosa, it's 10. And I think it was like 4 of those guys are on Todd McShay's like first round big board or whatever.
Right. That's been the whole thing.
And the rest of the guys are expected to be, high, second or third round picks or whatever. So if you're the kid, you've already played, your whole entire career at these schools or whatever. A couple guys are juniors that are going to be, are going to apply for eligibility or whatever to come out. You can either think, okay, these are my teammates. A lot of these guys are my best friends. For the last 4 years, I spent all of my time basically with these guys, my teammates, my, guys that you room with, guys that you spend your probably 80% of your day every day with during the football season.
Right.
And the coaches that that recruited you, that you built relationships with, all these people that you have these strong bonds with that, okay, I have to give these guys my I'm one of the best players in this team or the best player in this team. Our success in this bowl game is going to depend a lot on me. Do you feel like you let your teammates and your coaches down?
Here's the thing. I think these are the worst. The thing for me is it's your teammates. The coaches are the coaches. The coaches are going to go through hundreds of kids every year, and they love you and they know all about your family. But that's their job to do that. That's their job to know all that stuff and to get in and do that and to recruit you. These cats that you're playing with every day, those are your boys. Mm-hmm. When I was 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, I had a different mindset than I do right now. Mm-hmm. I got people in my ear that are, if I had people in my ear saying, hey, you can go out and make millions and millions of dollars. You're a cash cow because you're an athlete. You get hurt, you lost it all. I'm okay with going. Now, if I'm a mediocre dude, if I'm a backup running back who gets in maybe 13 plays a game, and my star offensive lineman decides he's not going to play in that bowl game, that might irritate me a little bit.
Yes.
At that age. Now it wouldn't. I understand. Look, you're not making any money here. This is your livelihood. Go, brother. Get your money. You want to sit out? You don't owe this school anything. You don't owe them you owe them nothing. Go make money. Back then, when I was 18, 19, 20, oh boy, it'd probably irritate the hell out of me.
And that's the thing. That's what I mean. I can see both sides, honestly. I mean, and I agree with you. We're older now, and so we can understand better. Like, yes, this is your future. You have an opportunity to make a lot of money playing professionally. Don't do anything to mess that up beforehand, right? But I really can still understand as a teammate. This is for most of those guys, for 98% of the guys that play even major Division I college football. That's it. You're done after this.
Yeah.
This is your last game, your last time with your teammates, and you're not going to play at the next level. That's your mentality is a lot different than that player is, and you're thinking, man, I want to win this last game. We had a great season.
Is it.
We especially and that's what I was going to say before is there are no players that are sitting out the bowl games yet that have announced it that are in the final that are in the playoff.
That was going to be another question I had for you. If you were on one of those Final Four teams, except for a guy like Bosa who got hurt and decided to just hang it up and not come back even if he was able to or not. Besides something like that, if you're healthy and your team's in that Final Four, now you're talking about a national championship.
Yes.
I don't think anybody ever I think you might get one person to do that somewhere down the line, but that's not going to be – you're not going to see those kids doing it. You're going to see the Papa John's bowls and the Duluth underwear bowl or something goofy like that. Those kids, they'll sit out of that or they won't play in that. But I think if you're in the playoffs, that's it. You're going to see that.
Yeah, I do too. But at the same time, it's the same situation whether you're playing for a national championship or not. You're still, and that's the other thing. Like, so you're still going to risk possibly getting hurt by playing in those games.
Yeah.
In order to possibly win a national championship.
National championship's a big deal, brother. That's a big deal compared to a silly bowl game.
But it's a big deal. How big a deal is it compared to your future and making a lot of money playing professionally? Is it as big a deal as that?
It brings it closer. Yeah, because that's when you're on one of those teams, when you're on one of those teams and you are the star of your team, that's more national recognition. That boosts your draft potential. I think your potential draft spot increases by being the best player on one of the Final Four teams, as opposed to being on a team that didn't make it and not as many people are going to be watching the games because everybody's bowl games are bowl games, but everybody's watching those playoff games. Your draft status, I think, increases. So I think in those cases, yeah, those kids keep playing. But I think eventually you're going to see a kid sit out.
I mean, so...
Does that make sense?
Yes, but NFL scouts, NFL front office executives are going to watch all of the bowl games. That's what they do.
That's fine.
Couldn't your draft status be improved if you play in really well in that bowl game? And look, not all the bowl game. There are some. But
they don't mean as much. Those playoff games mean. I shouldn't say. I don't want to take away a bowl game and how much it means, but they don't mean as much as the playoff. There's a reason why they select those four teams. Those are the two games that are the most important out of all of them. So yes, in those games, how you play in those games, there's more pressure on you. There's no pressure on a guy playing for the Papa John's Pizza Bowl. There's no pressure on that dude. They lose the game, they lose the game. He gets 4 million yards. It don't matter. Now, if you do that against one of the top 3 teams in the country in the playoffs with that pressure, I think it does nothing but help you out.
But if you do it against a top 10 team, there are still 3 or 4 or even 5 maybe games that are top 25 teams that are still really good teams that you're playing against the best players, some of the other best players in college football and the other best teams. I feel like that those games are just as really are just because a professional scout should not care whether you won I guess maybe a little bit, but shouldn't really care whether you won a national championship at college or not.
I disagree.
If you're Ohio State and you're playing in a really good bowl game, but you just barely didn't make it into the to the Final Four, how different is that than a guy that plays for Clemson that loses to Notre Dame in that Final Four game?
I think that shows what you're going to be like in a playoff situation. It shows more about your, I don't know, fortitude or what. I'm not good with words. Whatever.
I know what you mean.
It shows your potential in that situation. Whereas if you have a great game against a really good team in a bowl game that means nothing, then that is what it is. It's just another regular season game. If you have a great game in a playoff game for the chances of winning a national championship, that means that much more. So yeah, I do think that helps it out.
I think it means a little bit more, but I still feel like if you're playing against a really good team, you have an opportunity to either play in that game, make your teammates and your coaches happy, all the people that you've built relationships with, that you're the closest with, over the last 4 years, and have a chance to improve your draft status still. Because they're still watching those games. If you play in those games,
I just don't think they're watching them as close. I don't think they mean as much to those guys. I just don't think those games mean as much to the scouts as the other ones.
I feel like if you play really well against a good team, I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I understand.
I feel like we're just going around in a circle.
Well, no, yeah, but I don't know. It's there are a bunch of different angles you can take on this, and it's definitely different for the player, and it's definitely different for their teammates. It's a different perspective, but like we said, you can look as a teammate, you can look at it either you support your guy, you understand this is his big opportunity. If you did build that relationship, if you are really truly great friends,
yeah, I think most kids understand. I think nowadays, most of these kids understand because
nowadays
this
is big.
It's completely different. When this happened a couple years ago, even when it was Christian McCaffrey and stuff like that, it was huge news. Oh my gosh, there's 2 guys sitting out. Holy cow? You believe this? And now a trend started. Then people were probably pissed off then. Now, honestly, man, this is just that you're going to see more and more and more. And until they find a way to make those bullcrap bowl games mean something, eventually you're going to see the whole first and second round sit out.
Do you feel like all the other bowl games just shouldn't be played? Like, are they just a waste of time?
No, I don't think they're a waste of time. I think it's a blast. I think it's that end of the year postseason game for fans to get out and watch their team one more time against a decent opponent that more than likely they wouldn't have an opportunity to ever see them play. So yeah, I think they're fun, and I think they mean something, but they mean something to the 98% of the college football athletes that know that they're not going to the NFL. So yeah, there's a lot out there for that. So
they only mean something to the players in those games.
And the fans. I'm not a college football. I don't have a college football team, so it's hard for me to say how that is. But yeah, I think it means something to the fans, and it means something to the other kids. But I don't think it means anything to the scouts. I don't think I'm be completely honest with you. I don't think NFL scouts could give 3 craps about what you do in a bowl game unless it's the playoffs.
Really? So you're a fringe first rounder. You're probably projected around end of the first round, beginning of the second round, and you just lay a giant egg in a bowl game that you're not playing for a national championship, but it's the whatever. It's the I don't know what bowl,
whatever Tostitos bowl or something.
Yeah.
I'm saying that if you're a fringe first round guy, first round, high second round guy, and you lay an egg in a bowl game, you're still going to be a fringe first-round guy, possible, high second-round guy. I don't think that affects you at all. If you have a great game, it might boost you up a little bit. But honestly, no, I don't think that hurts you at all. Now, I think if you're in the playoffs and you're a fringe first-round guy, possible second-round guy, and you lay an egg in one of those games, then there's a lot more pressure on that game. People see what happens when things are under pressure. I think that does mean a lot.
So you don't think that says something about a guy's desire and his commitment? Another way to show your commitment to your teammates and stuff. You can just have a bad game and effort's not the reason.
Look,
but
in the NFL, it's your job.
Mm-hmm.
You get paid. That's your job to go out there and do that.
But that's not good enough for some guys. There are guys that go in there that don't have the desire, that go in there and
you better be a good scout.
You
better be a good scout and get the right cat on your team.
All right, fair enough.
That's all I got. All right. Speaking of that real quick, though, you do know that, did you see Urban Meyer lost? He's already lost. Not Urban Meyer.
Ohio State.
Yeah. What's his name? Ryan Day already lost two recruits. 2 top 50 recruits, I believe they're top 50 guys, today. So they did a good thing by firing by Urban Meyer resigning, because it helped Day, because the early signing day is coming up here in a couple days, and if he would have retired after the early signing day, everybody that signed would have had the opportunity to leave, to take away their commitment. Because he left this quick and this early, now, yes, they still got to get out there and make sure they're keeping the recruits, but at least once they sign, they're signed. They don't have that ability somewhere down the line to leave. So I think they did it.
Can't you just leave anytime you want, really?
Yeah, but you can. Never mind. I'm not getting into NCAA regulations and all that bull malarkey.
We didn't have that on the plan tonight.
Yeah, and I don't understand half of it anyway. So. All right, so let's get on to what we like to do here at the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. My favorite episode in our episode's history, episode 8. Adam talks about dating sites. It's super hilarious. If you get on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, check out episode 8. Very funny. But so now we like to do what we call swipe left, swipe right. So, Adam.
Yes.
Do you got any good swipe left, swipe rights for me today?
I don't know if it's good or not, but I was thinking about one. I was wrapping what's actually a birthday gift for my nephew. Tomorrow is his birthday. Shout out, happy birthday,
happy birthday,
Gabriel.
Nephew Gabe. He's going to be a year old.
He's going to be a year old.
Man, I remember that my first birthday was one of my favorites.
Yeah? What'd you get?
I got a lot of stuff. It was mostly baby stuff.
Oh,
yeah, I got a couple toys still from that day.
Boy, you have a great memory of what you got.
I got a red shirt with blue patches. It was like a red turtleneck, blue patches on the elbows.
Okay,
had my name across it. Yeah, I remember that.
Is that a real thing?
It's a real thing.
Shirt?
I still have it.
I feel like I have seen a picture. Maybe I own a picture or something of you in that shirt.
I don't know that I've ever worn it. I don't know that I ever wore it when I got it.
Okay,
but I've had the shirt forever.
I'm kind of picturing it in my mind. Maybe I'm just making it up.
It's got like black spray paint letters.
Okay.
Anyway.
So it was homemade.
Yeah, it was homemade. Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to Aunt Sally.
Aunt
Sally hooked me up.
Okay, Aunt Sally. Okay. I was going to say one of our aunts from our mom's side.
This was totally Aunt Sally.
Because back then they still probably didn't have a whole lot of money. I got homemade gifts when I was really little from our aunts, but anyway. Okay. So I'm wrapping his birthday gift tonight.
Yeah.
But it's the Christmas season.
Yeah.
We're in December.
Yep.
People are Christmas shopping.
Yes, they are.
And
it's the most wonderful time. I'm not singing.
Well, you just did.
Of the year.
There you go. Nice finish. The swipe left or swipe right? Wrapping Christmas gifts.
Oh, swipe right. My favorite thing to do. Look, I used to suck at wrapping. I had no idea how to do it. I started dating my wife, and I sat down one night with her and her mom, and I learned how to wrap presents. Bruh, I love wrapping presents.
Because you're good at it.
I am good at it.
Okay.
I am good.
That makes perfect sense.
It used to
when
be,
you're good at it.
It used to be I'd just get the funny pages, wrap, crinkle paper around, and use like a whole roll of tape on each present.
Yes.
Just to make sure the paper didn't fall off.
Yes.
and I'd give it to whoever I was giving a present to. Now,
It's got to be
I could work at Macy's, brother. I could be a Macy's wrapping paper lady.
First of all, is there still a Macy's?
No.
Second of all, do they still have gift wrapping?
No. Sears might. I don't know. Maybe McAlpin's. Is there still a McAlpin's or J.C. Penney? Grandma always wanted to go to Penny's. I'm gonna go to Penny's. Anybody want to go? Let's go Penny's.
Penny's.
We're going to Penny's. I know y'all remember Penny's. I know you remember Penny's.
My mom worked at McAlpin's for a while, part time.
Yeah? Nice.
And I remember the moonlight sale. I don't remember what that meant, but she did the moonlight sale all the time.
Dude, that was the late night sale. They stayed open late.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that only on Black Friday?
No. They used to do that different times because I used to get to stay up because my mom would take me shopping.
Oh.
And I'd be like, ooh, I'm staying up late. And then I realized I was shopping, and I hate shopping. So.
Okay. So you love wrapping gifts because you're good at it.
Yep, love it. Love
Good for
it.
you.
Love it.
Good for you.
All right. Swipe left, swipe right. Talking to the dentist while she's got your hands in her mouth. No, her hands in your mouth.
No,
It'd be a little awkward if you had your hands in your dentist's mouth.
No, I always put my hands in my dentist's mouth while because I figure they have their hands in my mouth. It should be even.
Why can't you do the same? Exactly.
Right. Well, I mean, swipe left. Obviously, I
feel like when you're at the dentist's office, it's not a chatty situation. Like you're in, out. It's hey, how you doing? Good. And that's about it. And then that's all there is.
Right.
Look, somebody asked me how my I got a chatty lady that cleans my teeth. The what do you call those
dental
people?
hygienist.
The dental hygienist. She's chatty. She's hilarious. But she's always asking me questions, and I can't just say yes or no. I got to ask a question back. So, and then she takes her hands out of my mouth, and we have a little 5-minute talk. I'm at the dentist, dude, for an hour to an hour and a half for a teeth cleaning.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And I love to talk. Obviously, I talk over top of you in this thing all the time. But seriously, I love it. Yeah. Dr. Schiller and I can't remember what the other lady's name is that cleans my teeth. I think she's it doesn't matter.
Dr. Schiller and Dr.
And the lady that cleans my teeth that can't stop talking to me. We had a conversation one time for like 5 minutes. She saw my socks, my dress socks I had on for work.
Yep.
And she was like, I got my husband those same socks. And we had like a 5-minute conversation about dress socks. That's the kind of crazy stuff that I get into. The first 2 minutes where her hands were in my mouth talking about them. And then obviously the conversation was getting sideways. So she took them out so she could actually understand what I was talking about.
It's a little frustrating, I guess, when the hygienist is asking you questions. If it's a yes or no thing, you can kind of make a noise so that they know what you're talking about.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Or you can go or or whatever. But if it's hey, what's your favorite color? I can't,
Go.
Yeah, well, I'm not. Or hey, tell me about your vacation you just went on. Tell me all about it. What do you mean? Tell me about it. You have your hands and your instruments in my mouth.
This is how it usually goes. Did you do anything? Over the summer? Mickey Mouse. And then she takes her hands out, and then we talk about Disneyland or something.
That's when I answer that question with no.
Dude, I just love talking. I love talking so much, and I used to hate it when people. There are a lot of people that hate when people talk to them while they're cleaning their teeth. I love it, man. I absolutely love getting my teeth cleaned.
It's hard because you can't communicate correctly.
No, that's the fun part of it.
It's not.
That's what makes it so fun. Like when you got a cold and your voice gets a little scratchy when you're talking or whatever. Mm-hmm. It just makes me want to talk more because I love hearing myself in a different form. Yeah. So I started talking like this. I was like, I wonder if I can make her really understand what I'm saying. Like I feel like there's a challenge involved.
Challenge.
Yes.
It's a challenge. Okay.
Yes.
I can understand that, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. For me, it's just how are you going to ask me a question when you know I can't answer it?
I don't know why they do it. I can't answer that question.
They're trying to be nice, but it works a little better at the barbershop because you don't have clippers in your mouth.
I have to start the conversation at the barbershop. I mean, believe it or not. But seriously,
Really?
I can sit in a barbershop and there'll be 3 people waiting in front of me, and 2 people get their hair cut and there'll be 4 words said. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. So I'll just say, how about them Reds? And boom, somebody will say something, and then it's like, locked in conversation. Let's go. Time to talk. I enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the
it's a thing that most people don't know about me.
That you like to talk?
That I like to talk.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I've known you my whole life. I had no idea. At the barber shop, the girl that cuts my hair. I mean, I go to Sport Clips, so it's always a girl.
Is that a barber shop?
It's not. Well,
is Sports Clip? Don't call it the barber shop when you're going to Sports Clips.
What is it then?
That's a hair salon that they try to make for men. It's not a barber shop. You cannot have the same conversations at Sports Clips that you can in the barber shop.
No, you're right. I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
You just said you went to the barbershop like 3 times, and come to find out you're going to Sports Clips.
I'm getting my hair cut. All right.
You get your hair did is when you go to Sports Clips. You're getting your hair did.
All right. I'm going to get washing style, I guess, and she has to drive the conversation. If there's going to be conversation, it's got to be her driving it. I'll engage if you talk to me about something. Yeah. I'll engage a little bit. I'm not going to give you all the details of my life or anything like that. Yeah. I'm going to be here for 15, 20 minutes while you cut my hair. And especially at Sport Clips, I might never see you again. This is the first time I saw you. You might be transferred to another one, or you might be
at Great Clips next year.
At Great Clips next week.
You don't know where she's going to be next week.
Anyway.
No, as soon as I sit my butt in that barber seat, first thing I say is, how's Pops doing? Boom, locked in. Now we got a conversation for at least half my haircut.
You have a barber that you've been going to for a long time. Is this correct?
I wouldn't say a long time. I've been going to him for about 4 years now.
Okay, so you have a little relationship. How often do you get your hair cut?
Once a month.
Okay.
So my hair doesn't grow like your wig you got up there.
So about 48 times you've been there. If you've been there 4 years, once a month.
Look at you, mathematician. Look at this guy.
4 times 12 is pretty. That's my.
That's your pretty simple elder
math.
My
elder math, yeah. So that's good. That's a nice little run there.
Yeah, I get a Christmas card from him.
Hey, yeah. See, you know what? That's a real relationship. That's a real barber.
So real quick, this is I'm gonna tell you the reason why I get a Christmas card. So he keeps Christmas cards on the counter. Right in December.
Oh, so you just grab one on the way out the door?
No, wait, hold on now. What happens is I'll be sitting there and people come up and it'll be like, all right, $14. Guy walks up, gives him $14 or gives him a 20, and he says, just give me a couple bucks back. He says, all right, have a good day. And guy turns around, walks away. I go up, $14. Here you go. Give him a 20. He goes in there. I'm like, oh, you're good, bro. I appreciate it. And he goes, oh, my gosh. And he shakes my hand. He turns around and he grabs me a Christmas card and he hands it to me. That's how I get my Christmas card. I pay for that Christmas card.
You pay for your Christmas.
I pay for my. Listen, I collect Christmas cards. That's another thing I like. Christmas cards. I love getting in the mailbox and seeing a Christmas card. I don't care if it's generic, silly Christmas card or what it is. But anyway, yeah.
Speaking of Christmas cards, our cousin Bobby Edwards.
Bob Amanab, friend of the show. Yeah. Shout out to Bob, the first in-studio guest we ever had.
He has, that's his thing. Every year you look forward to Bob's Christmas card.
Yeah. Did you see
one of the most creative, imaginative, artistic people that I know.
And it's always funny.
And it's always really funniest. Easily one of the funniest people I've ever known. Always an excellent Christmas card.
Yeah, so real quick, just to tell you how good his stuff is, he just put out a post on the chat snap or something today that said, these are the Batman Forever stamps I got 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Completely waiting just for this year's Christmas card. He prepares 3 years in advance for Christmas cards. That's what the hell I'm talking about.
That's pretty impressive. And having said that, I have never sent Christmas cards.
Oh, that's crazy. I love
anyone.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So that's swipe left, swipe right. So let's get into, like I said earlier, my favorite time of the year, my favorite game of the year, the Crosstown shootouts here. Xavier's got a new head coach. Travis Steele.
This game's giving you a little acid reflux
It is.
there, a little gas or something.
Yeah, a little gassy. It's a whole new team. Xavier's a whole new team. Not a whole new team, but it's a relatively different team than last year. UC has a pretty. They play the same style, but it's a pretty different team from last year. This is gonna be a fun game because you got some kids that have been in it before, and if you've been in this game before, you know how it goes. It's always competitive. Even for freshmen, they really feel the energy that comes into this game. It's at the newly renovated Fifth Third Arena. I'm excited. Listen, if you watch on Facebook Live or if you catch this on YouTube afterwards, you know that I'm a Xavier guy because there's Xavier all over behind me,
including on your head.
And yeah, there you go. I didn't even realize I got an X hat on. So I love it. I grew up. It was tough. It was tough growing up when I was a kid. UC was always number one. Xavier was always beating them when they were number one. But for the most part, UC was a way better team than Xavier.
Right.
And there was way more Xavier or UC fans than there were Xavier fans.
Mm-hmm.
Things have moved. There's a lot more people out there liking X. X has made a name for themselves over the past few years. So this game's gotten a lot of fun. The problem is X always wins.
For the last 10 years or so,
I think they've lost 2 in the last 10 years.
They 8-2 in the last. Okay.
Mick is like, you know who Mick is like? That tool up north, Harbaugh. He's a lot like I feel like Chris Mack.
Take it easy. I'm a Michigan fan.
Okay, sorry, that's right. Well, just because you're a Michigan fan doesn't mean you got to be a fan of that guy. Harbaugh, that dude. Harbaugh is a completely different. That guy's on a whole different level.
He's a strange guy.
He's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mac's gone though. Mac had that record against UC, and it was very good.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. What do you think about this game coming up?
This is so I feel like there are some similarities between X and UC. They both lost their top 2 or 3 guys, but they have some guys that played minutes last year. That are coming back that are now their new top guys. And basketball wise though, they're similar also in that neither team is a great shooting team. They've actually scored more points than it seems like they would.
A lot of that has to do with competition and,
right.
and overpowering teams and really going on big runs at the end of the game.
Right, exactly. And that happened the last 2. So UC took care of business against NKU last night, and Xavier beat Ohio by I think it was 21 or something tonight.
But to be honest, Xavier today had to end the game on a 17-1 run to really put that game away. That was a close game up till 9 minutes left in the game.
And Ohio's a pretty good, Ohio and NKU both are pretty good. They're mid-major schools, but they're pretty decent mid-major schools. But they're no good. UC or X level.
They're not any good.
They both might have a chance to win their conferences. So they both of those schools may end up being in the tournament, but we know where they're at. They're not.
What kind of team they are.
Right. And speaking of competition, I think Xavier's competition so far to this point in the season overall is a little bit better. UC opened up with Ohio State.
Yeah,
that's a good
big
team.
Game.
And they lost. That's their one loss. They're 8-1 now, I think.
Yeah,
8-1, 9-1, something like that. But Xavier played Auburn.
They played Auburn. They played San Diego State.
San Diego State. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. They've played Wisconsin. Yeah. So they've played a few teams that are pretty good teams. And they're 6-3 now.
Yeah,
I think. So and that's why the difference in record. But
that doesn't tell the whole story.
That doesn't tell the whole story.
So what's the race to? Because in this game, the way UC plays defense, I feel like it's a race. If Xavier can hit that number, they can win the game. Is it 65? Is it 70? Can UC get into the 70s? Xavier is not a very good defensive team.
Right.
This is the worst defensive team I've ever seen out of a Xavier team in the last probably 7 years. So UC is going to put points up. We are more athletic than most of the teams they've played, so they're not going to put up 75, 80 points, I don't think. But what is that number Xavier has to get to win, or if you're a UC fan, what is that number you have to hold Xavier under to feel comfortable winning the game?
I feel like it's got to be a low-scoring game because I think it'll be a physical game. I think it'll be, both teams are going to be really energized, even more so than normal.
X likes to get out and move. They like to get out and push and push and push.
And Mick knows that, and they're going to prepare for that. And you see, look, that's the reason that, and I hate to just jump to the end of this conversation. I don't mean to do that, but that's why I think UC is going to win this game, because I think they're so much better defensively. They really, really, really focus all of their effort on the defensive end, and so far Xavier hasn't really done that.
So who's going to score for him? Who's going to score for UC to win this game? Cumberland, he has his ups and his downs. He's been scoring more consistently, but he's still not that consistent guy who can put points in when they need them all the time. Who's going to score for UC?
They have 3 or 4 guys that can be their leading scorers. So Cumberland, Keith Williams, I really like, sophomore guard for them. I think he's super athletic. Justin Jennifer is a senior. He can score. I think he's like 3rd on the team in scoring or something like that, or maybe 4th. So he doesn't shoot the ball a ton, I don't think, but he can. He's a senior. This will be his 4th game in this. He knows what this game is about, what it takes, how the level that you have to play to win this game. You have Trey Scott had a great night last night against NKU. Kane Broom is another senior. He got a lot of minutes last year. Any one of those guys, I feel like, in their front line, they've got Mamadou Diarra, 6'9".
Big ups to you, real quick. Congratulate you spit that name out like it was nothing. I've been looking at that guy watching these UC games. I can't figure out how to say his name for the life of me.
Give
it to me one more time.
Mamadou Diarra?
One more time.
Mamadou Diarra.
I like it.
Maybe I said it wrong 3 times.
Sounds great.
They've got a few guys that have some.
Oh yeah, there's another dude on there like a Kawakiyoks or something like that. Kiaskiwao or something.
There's his first name Eliel and his last name is Nsoseme.
That's the dude. That's the dude I'm talking about.
And then you also have a Prince. They have a Prince on their team.
I like that.
A Prince from Congo.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nasir Brooks is a 6'11" guy who is a good shot blocker. I think he's going to give Hankins and Tyreek Jones a lot of trouble finishing underneath, and they're not that great at it right now anyway.
If they can get Xavier in foul trouble, especially with those two, because those two will get in foul trouble. Tyreek Jones immediately will get in foul trouble. Hankins is a little bit better, but if the refs come in like they have in the past and start calling this game tight, then you could see Xavier come out with 2 quick fouls on both of those guys, and we have nobody else to go underneath.
Those are their big guys. That's
it. So
Matt Stainbrook's not walking through that door.
No, he's not. I don't know if the door's big enough to fit through him. Anyway. They got another guy who's 6'9", in Ryan Wellich, but that guy never comes inside the 3-point line, and he doesn't even. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know how to play defense. He's a 5th-year senior out of San Jose State. Yeah. He holds San Jose State's record for 3-pointers, and I don't think he's ever taken another shot besides that. He has, and he can score, and he can get to the basket now and then, but he is not a defensive player. This team, if they can get inside against Xavier, it's going to be a tough game. Xavier hits shots and they'll be fine. They've gone back and forth on free throws. If Xavier hits shots, they'll win the game. Boy, if that's not the most generic bull crap I've ever heard in my life.
Do you think it's if they hit more shots?
I think if they make more shots than UC, I think Xavier wins the game.
I guess it depends on whether they're 2-pointers or 3-pointers.
That's true. No, but Xavier has had a couple different types of games. They were 66% from the free throw line today. Not good.
Which is about their average on the season.
Right. In the beginning of the year, they were at like 53, 54. They went to Maui, shot terrific from the line, came back, first 2 games, shot very well from the line. I think they were 80-some% the other night, last week. And then they come into this game and blow an egg again, and their free throws back suck again. So it's going to come down. It's going to come down to free throws. because it's going to be a lot of foul. I feel like the fouls will be called, so you're going to get free throws, and it's going to come, foul. Foul
doesn't
trouble.
sound good.
I know. None of this sounds good for Xavier right now.
Here's the thing, though. If UC has really struggled shooting the ball in
Alex,
some games.
if they score more points, they win. Good call. Good call. I agree. I completely agree. Whoever scores the most points in this game will win.
Well, maybe. We'll see. No, if UC has one of those games where they shoot the ball really poorly, and Xavier rebounds the heck out of the ball, if they win the rebound battle by 10 or more, and UC shoots the ball poorly, they have a chance, I think, to beat them.
If that's the case, and it's going to come down to our 2 point guards. It's going to come down to Quentin Gooden and Paul Scruggs. We got two, 6'4", 6'5", or 6'5", 6'6" point guards. And if we can win the size battle out there, we can maybe find a way to grab some extra rebounds and start pushing it a little bit, and we got an opportunity.
Another thing a little concerning for Xavier is Quentin Gooden, speaking of him, missed tonight's game because he's sick.
The whole team's sick.
Yeah.
The whole team's sick. We got a coach is sick. Hankins was sick. Kyle Castlin, another senior transfer, he played today but did not practice all week for the last 4 days. So, yeah, this team's going through something. So if we do lose, at least we got an excuse.
Another thing is, I don't know if you saw this, Tyreek Jones hit his head really hard on a guy's knee tonight and left the game.
I did not see that.
And it looked bad. He could, it took him a long time to even be able to stand up.
I was talking, it took about 10, it was like a 10-minute delay.
Yeah.
So, I'm a season ticket holder. I couldn't make the game, had a work function. My pops took my son. I didn't get to see any of the game, but he was telling me a little bit about that afterwards. And it sounded like Tyreek had a good game. He had 15 points and 8 rebounds, so it must have happened late in the game. But yeah, hopefully he's all right.
It looked really bad, but that's the thing. He hit the back of his head really hard. If he has a concussion, he may not be eligible to play in this game.
If he doesn't play, Xavier, I don't see a path for Xavier to win this game.
You're down to one big guy then.
I don't see a path for them to win this game. They'd have to play a freshman, Jones, who's 6'8", and he'd have to play you got to put him at the 4, or he's going to have to play some 5. I just don't see it unless they can figure out a way to play small. I don't. That's not going to work. That if Jones doesn't play, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So what's your pick? Who you got? Who you got? Let's just get it over with.
I think just because of the difference in defense, I think UC wins the game.
All right. So if X wins this game, you got to do the entire show in my Speedo next week.
Let me think about that.
You got no time. It's right now. Yes or no?
Oh, okay. No.
Oh.
That's exactly the amount of time I needed to think about it.
You're welcome for giving you that time. Then
it's a no. It's an easy swipe left. It's an easy swipe left.
How about if UC loses, you got to shave your face
completely?
Yeah.
I'd rather wear a Speedo.
Wow. Okay. So which one are you gonna do?
I would. Okay. If X wins the game. What do I get points or anything? Or
oh no, straight up. This is straight up. I can't imagine that there's going to be. They don't come out with college basketball spreads till the night before, but I don't see that there's going to be much of a spread on this game unless it's going to be in UC's favor because they're at home in the newly renovated arena. The place is going to be live and kicking.
Mm-hmm. They're 8-1 or whatever, 9-1. If Xavier wins, see, I like Xavier. I'll be happy if Xavier wins, but. Right. If Xavier wins, what do you have to do if UC wins?
I'll shave my face. All the way. No goatee, no nothing.
Neither one of us really want to do that,
no,
do we?
Not at all. How about that? Loser shaves his face.
Man. Okay, can it be does it matter when it is?
It's got to be before Wednesday next week.
Can it be for the podcast during the I think Christmas is on a Monday or something, a Sunday or Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Can it be the podcast right after that? Because I'm off work for the next week after Christmas.
And you don't want
I would like to not have. See what happens when I shave my face completely. I get like my face like breaks out, and I get bad like razor bumps and acne or whatever something.
Yes.
I hate shaving.
Do you use shaving cream?
Yes, I do on my neck and on, like above my, because I'm a werewolf, so my beard will grow up into my eyes if I let it, and it'll grow and attach around to the back of my hair. Yeah. I have to shave some parts of my face, but like down here, like on the actual around my chin and stuff, and I can't do that.
I've never used shaving cream.
You've never?
I don't use shaving cream. I don't use soap. Just throw some water on the face and
you're kidding.
Get the razor and raise it up.
You're kidding me.
No, 100%.
Raise it up.
Raise it up, big dog.
When you
That's
shave,
how man does
you
it.
get a razor and raise it up.
Here's the reason why. Because when I was at Elder, we had to if you had facial hair, they'd give you a razor in the middle of class and make you go shave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mr. Breedy used to make me do it all the time because I just never shaved. So when I shaved,
saw him at the Xavier game the other day,
Did you really?
Yeah.
I'd go to school. And Mr. Breedy would pull out one of them one razor Bics, throw it over to me. I'd walk into the bathroom, throw some water on my face, shave it up, and get out.
Could you grow facial hair that well in high school?
No, but it would be like a 3-week process before I had some peach fuzz grown, and he'd make me shave it off.
He would make you shave that?
Yeah,
that's so dumb.
I wasn't like you and can grow a beard out in like 3 hours.
I was a late bloomer. I couldn't do that in high school.
No.
Yeah, not in high school.
All right, so that's what we're gonna do. Alex says we should shave each other live. I'm just gonna let you know, big dog. I ain't letting him come near me with a razor. That ain't gonna happen.
Really, you wouldn't trust me to shave your face?
I feel like I would trust you, but I know you wouldn't trust me.
You're right.
I know. I'd let you do it to me. I wouldn't bother me at all. But I know you wouldn't let me. I'm not even gonna ask you because we all know who you are.
And it's not because of you. I just wouldn't trust anyone.
You just don't like to have fun.
You're right. If that's what that is, then yes, I don't like to have fun.
You just don't like to have fun.
If I don't trust someone with a razor near my face, if that's not having fun, then yes, you're right.
I'm down for it. I'll do it. I'll let you shave my face while I juggle.
While you juggle.
I don't know. It just feels like I'd be moving a lot.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. All right.
I guess so.
All right.
Okay, we'll shave. We won't shave each other's face. That's a pretty good suggestion.
Right. Loser, yeah, it is. Loser's got to shave the week after Christmas, whatever that's all about. It'll be the day after Christmas.
Is it on a Tuesday?
Christmas is on a Tuesday.
Okay. So it'll be fresh then.
Yeah,
it'll be fresh.
Yeah.
On that Wednesday. Oh gosh.
Yes. Go X.
I haven't rooted. I've actually rooted for X for like the last 10 or 15 years in this game. Just because, over the years, I guess
anymore,
they
right?
were the underdogs for a long time, so I started rooting for them, and then they got good, and I really liked them, and now I guess I have to root for UC.
All right. Well, I hate to hear that, so let's go X. All right. So that brings us to the final part of the show, the thing that Adam and I love the most, but we save it to the end because we got a lot of people that don't like the NBA. So we save it for the end so some fellas can either fall asleep, turn it off, do what you want to do. But we like to do a little thing called the Big Three. We're not going to go into detail about all kinds of crazy players and people you never heard of. What we're going to do on the Nosebleeds is we're going to take the 3 biggest conversations in the NBA this week, throw them out there, let you know what we think, and move on.
Number one.
Patrick
Beverley. Known troublemaker, I guess, on the court. Los Angeles Clippers guard. Very, very good defensive player. He's actually turned himself into a pretty decent offensive player, too.
Yeah.
Really good player. One of the reasons the Clippers have gotten off to such a good start. The other night in Dallas, loose ball, something always happens with a loose ball. So you get into it a little bit or whatever. So, anyway, loose ball, whistle blows. Everybody's in a little group or whatever. Patrick Beverley's on the bottom of the floor with the ball. Guys peel off of him. He gets up. Starts walking away with the ball. A well-known Dallas Mavericks fan who sits in the first row. I think
awesome hair. If I had white hair like this dude, I would totally grow it out as long as I possibly could.
He reminds me of Rex Ryan's brother. Well, I forget his first name. Anyway,
Ryan.
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 Okay. Rex Ryan's brother, Ryan, he looks like him. He.
I'm trying to watch this as you talk.
He's a famous. Oh, you haven't. Okay. He's famous for somehow, or he's just rich or something. He's
sure,
at
yeah,
all these.
But he's at all the games.
So he was giving Patrick Beverley a hard time. Apparently called him a dirty player. Patrick Beverley heard something else
About his mama.
about his mom.
Yeah.
So he threw the ball. I'm using air quotations. Threw the ball at him, meaning he tossed the ball at the guy at his feet. Not like super hard. He tossed the ball at his feet.
He gave him a bounce pass.
He kind of
That's
gave
all
him a bounce pass.
It was a bounce pass. He got kicked out for that?
He got ejected and
Oh,
fined.
it's horrible. I'm just watching this live as Adam's talking. Not
fined $25,000.
Oh, that
and
cost
ejected
him
from the game.
$25,000?
It did.
Holy cow.
Now,
I'd be going against that big time.
But you can't interact.
Anything.
You can't throw a ball at a fan. You can't even say anything.
So you can go over to a fan and give him a high five and give him a hug, but you can't throw him a bounce pass?
No, because it was an ill-intended bounce pass.
How was it? What did he do? Where's the ill intentions at?
He thought he said.
Listen, if there was ill intentions,
do something with your mother.
If there was ill intentions in that, he would have thrown that ball at that dude's neck and tried to take those. The guy's wearing sunglasses inside the arena. So that already is irritating.
He should have them smashed in his face.
He should have tried to throw the basketball in that dude's face. Instead, he was really nice and gave him a little bounce pass.
He knew he wasn't supposed to do it.
That's baloney.
It's an automatic fine for sure.
All right. You know how I feel.
You can't get into that. But
how do you feel? What do you think should have happened?
The problem is it's a back and forth. Nobody really knows what anybody said. So that guy swears all he said was you're a dirty player, and then apparently Patrick Beverley came back with something vulgar, and the guy just said your mother. Which is a very old man thing to say at this point.
Yo,
right?
mama.
You just said your mother. Okay.
Did he say your mother or your mama?
The article I read had quotes and said, I said your mother. What Patrick Beverley heard.
I don't believe it.
Patrick Beverley heard do a physical act, your mother.
Yeah.
And Patrick Beverley thought, well, that's unacceptable. So
I'm going to throw you a bounce pass.
Out of frustration.
I'm almost going to basically roll the ball at you. What? This is ridiculous.
You can't engage in any physical way with the fan.
He didn't.
You can't.
He rolled the ball to him.
He tossed it at his feet, and you just can't do that. Now, we talked about this a few weeks ago with some other stuff.
Yes, we did.
I can't stand that fans are allowed to do anything they want, basically, or say whatever they want and get away with it, and you're just supposed to. But Doc Rivers, it was near their bench, and Doc Rivers said he heard the whole thing, and he told Patrick Beverley, "Yep, I know what the guy said. You can't do it. You can't engage with him.
Do it.
It's not fair." But we have to walk away. We have to turn the other cheek or whatever. That's just what we have to do.
It is. That's and good for Doc Rivers because that's it, man. These young kids, get off, get out of here. You need an old man like that to let you know. Look, you just can't do that.
You just can't do that. But if you can't do that, a lot more needs to be done about fans.
That's fine.
Using language and saying stuff about people's family.
I'm good.
Those people have to get removed.
I think that you can. I hate the whole. I hate that whole. You're banned from the arena and all this malarkey. It might be easier for him because where his seats are, but for the most part, nobody knows if you're ever going to be at that game again. So I don't care much about that. But yeah, there should be something. I agree. There's a line. I don't like you out there screaming, cursing at a guy. But if he's on the other team and you want to say you suck, or I don't even like that to be honest with you. But if you want to say something, that's to his zone. You got to know as a basketball player, it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Grow a pair. You're on stage. You're basically on stage, and you got all these people watching. Man, it's gonna happen when you're on the road.
It will. And guys deal with it every night almost in every situation. They deal with it with professionalism and class for the most part. Yes, once in a while.
Most of them just laugh.
Yeah, but if it's funny, yeah. Absolutely, I would laugh.
Even if it's not funny, if I got some old white guy trying to talk trash to me, and I'm gonna walk over, I might give him a sideways look, and I'm probably gonna say something to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not gonna throw the ball at him. And if he says something back, I'm probably, come on, man. I'll give him the Randy Moss. Come on, man. Or is that Chris Carter? Who does that?
I think that's Chris Carter, right? I don't know. Chris Carter's been gone for a while. He's not with ESPN anymore. I haven't heard him. Okay, anyway. That's number one. Number two. Markelle Fultz, our man. We've been kind of tracking this whole thing with Markelle Fultz. He has seen 10 specialists in the last week. He finally found one who found out what the deal is.
What's wrong with him?
He has...
Come on now.
Let me look at the first. Let me look at the first word one more time.
Yeah. Get this word out.
Hold on. Neurogenic thoracic outlet syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay?
Outlet syndrome.
Something I've never heard of in my entire life, but apparently it's a nerve. It's a nerve disorder. Okay.
Okay.
That the nerves that are kind of between or connect your neck and your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's
no wonder the kid
it's a
can't
disorder.
shoot.
It's a disorder with those.
It has nothing to do with the fact that he's throwing the ball around back and forth and then just throws it at the basket.
That was to try to fix it. That wasn't.
And where in any basketball player that's ever played basketball in their entire life, when you're having trouble shooting, does throwing a basketball back and forth in your hands all the way up to your head and then throw the basketball at the basket help in any way?
It doesn't make any sense, but I'm not sure there's ever been a case like this before. That guy was trying anything, and I'm not. I mean, I might have done that too. Like you have guys that can't shoot.
What about Chuck Knobloch? He couldn't throw the ball to first base.
Shooting and throwing a ball to first base are a lot different.
I don't know. I bet he had that. I bet he had something between his tendons and his shoulders and his neck, and he couldn't throw the ball to first base no more. No more. Listen to me speaking beautiful English.
Neurogenic thoracic outlet syndrome. You think?
I'm so impressed with you being able to say that.
So anyway, his
trying to
his
find
agent
his words so I can say it.
His agent / lawyer was so excited. Okay, excited because
he was too.
He's been it was his idea.
Been trying to find what's wrong with him for so long, so we found a doctor to make some wacky, crazy stuff up.
It was his idea.
Let's send him to L.A. and give him a break.
Yes, to send him to these specialists to try to find out something physical because he says, look, this proves this is a physical thing. You don't get drafted number 1 overall and just forget how to shoot. That doesn't happen. He couldn't lift his arms over his head. The problem with that is, how come we haven't heard that this is a physical ailment until right now?
Look, let me tell you something. So Dan Le Batard's show today, Stan Van Gundy was on all day with him, and the very first thing they brought up was this, and they said, tell me what you think about it. He goes, I've been in basketball for a long time, seen a lot of injuries. I have never in my life heard of this injury before. I love Stan Van Gundy. This is some made-up baloney to get this dude's so they can send him home to try to get his head right. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Now, they're going to treat it. They say it's treatable with physical therapy. For me, they said initially out 3 to 6 weeks. Okay? Now I think they're just saying indefinitely. If he's back, I see this going down a path, honestly, where it's 6 weeks from now, and it's like, oh, well, he's not quite there. We're still working on it. We got to give him another few weeks.
He's always going to need 2 more weeks.
It's indefinite. It's still
2 weeks.
Still indefinite.
We'll research this again in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Right. He'll be reevaluated in a couple weeks. I see it going down that path. Now, I hope for his sake it really is that case, and he gets physical therapy. For me, a nerve thing seems like so much more in depth than just like a dislocated shoulder or a broken bone or a torn ligament or something. A nerve thing is like I don't know how you. I mean, I'm not a physical therapist.
So tell me what this is called again.
Neurogenic thoracic outlet syndrome.
All right. So this, all right. So it occurs when blood vessels or nerves in the space between your collarbone and your first rib are compressed.
Oh, okay. I thank you, WebMD.
The Mayo Clinic.
Thank you, Mayo Clinic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's down here a little way. Well, where's your first rib
between
start? Right here? Where's your first rib at? Under your pec? Doc Adam?
About right here.
So now
Can you see this, people listening?
Everybody I've been hearing has made it sound like it's like at the top of his shoulder and his collarbone area, and now I'm hearing it's under his arm. Come on, what's going on with this? What's this dude really got?
Whatever it was.
Somebody went on a Mayo Clinic and found a syndrome close to some nerve stuff and said, thoracic outlet? That sounds pretty cool. And it sounds cool. Nobody's going to look that up.
Nobody's ever heard of that.
Nobody's heard of it. Nobody's going to look it up. Let's just say that's what's wrong. It's a nerve deal. Ain't nobody going to say nothing about nerves.
We both looked it up.
Peyton Manning had nerve issues. Look what happened to him.
He never had thoracic outlet syndrome.
No, he just had a broken spinal cord. I don't really know if that's happened.
That's pretty bad. Yeah, that's a worse one.
Yeah. That might be the worst broken thing you can break. What's the worst break you can have? Is it the spinal cord? Is the spine your worst break?
But the spinal cord is not a
right. So
bone,
the spine,
so
your spine. If you break your spine,
it's your vertebrae.
Is
right?
that the worst?
You would have to break a vertebrae, right?
I
don't know. You can break your back. So however you do that, maybe.
Is that worse than the femur?
Probably.
I've heard that the femur is a pretty bad break.
I'm sure it is. But you can still get around. The back though, it's like supports everything. It's like the central. It's like central to your whole body. I always thought that was your
feet. I thought your feet supported everything.
Everything's connected to your back.
Unless you're like a race car driver, then your butt supports everything.
You're not wrong.
I'm just talking.
You're not wrong.
Neurogenic thoracic outlet syndrome.
That was no problem.
This form of thoracic outlet syndrome is characterized by compression of the brachial plexus. The brachial plexus is a network of nerves that come from your spinal cord and control muscle movements and sensations in your shoulder. This is a shoulder deal, arm and hand. That's why he couldn't keep the ball in his hand. That's why he kept throwing it back and forth.
Well, he did. I did see something about. So he had a wrist issue in the past as well.
There you
and
go.
They're saying that may have something to do with that too.
Could have had something to do with it.
I don't know. I've heard a few different things now. I feel like, and I feel like they were fishing for something. They may have legitimately found something, though. I mean, we can make fun of it and think whatever, this is a joke, but it really might be a legitimate thing here. And hopefully he gets healed and he comes back and he helps the Sixers go to the finals, and so they can lose in 4 games to the Warriors. Although they're not going to beat even with good, healthy Markelle Fultz, they're not going to beat the Raptors. But
dude, if you get this, you're like you would know if you had this.
You
know.
Signs
and symptoms of vascular thoracic outlet syndrome can include discoloration of your hand, arm pain and swelling, possibly due to blood clots. I feel like they would have known that. Blood clot in veins or arteries in the upper area of your body. Lack of color in one or more of your fingers on your entire hand. Weak or no pulse in the affected arm, cold fingers, arm fatigue with activity. Okay, that one he might have had that. Like, I feel like these things, weakness of arm or neck, he could still dunk. I mean, he never had a problem dunking or anything like that. He'd get to the basket, and he had no problem getting his arm up there to put throw the ball down. So, throbbing lump near your collarbone. I feel like all these things are things you would know.
Last one sounded a little
way ago. Just because you heard throbbing lump, you get your mind out of the gutter. You heard throbbing lump near your. Last time I had a throbbing lump by my collarbone was a long night in Vegas, and I woke up and had a throbbing lump next to my collarbone. You don't want to know what was above it.
You're right. I don't. Okay.
Too far. Sorry.
Let's
I
see.
apologize.
Okay.
Let's reel it back in. Reel it back in.
We'll find out in about 6 months what happens with Markelle Fultz,
We'll
whether
find
he's
out
able to
next
come
year
back.
if he's even going to play for the Philadelphia 76ers or not.
When he fixes his shot in the offseason again, we'll find out at the beginning of next season. Number 3.
Number 3. What do we got on the big 3? Number 3.
The big news today was Kevin Durant in an interview. This guy really speaks his mind in interviews.
This dude's a millennial. This is your prototypical millennial.
He's in his 30s. He's 30, 31, something like that.
Yeah, he's a millennial.
Like 30.
Yeah,
is he?
100%.
All right. Well, he made no bones about. So someone asked him about playing with LeBron James.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And look, some people believe that Kevin Durant he's a free agent at the end of this year.
He's not going to LA.
Some people believe that he's going to LA.
No.
Everybody tries to figure out where he's going to go. He's going to team up with Kyrie in New York, or he's going to whatever. Somebody asked him about going to LA and playing with LeBron.
Right.
He had all kinds of things to say about it.
A lot to say.
He did. Basically, he said he understands why people don't want to play with LeBron. Now, not because of anything wrong with LeBron.
No, not at all. He did not talk bad about LeBron at all in this case. He literally, he said a lot of true facts.
He did. Basically, he kind of said it's a circus. It's a lot of stupid attention that really doesn't make any sense. He went in on the media.
And that comes because he can't take it. He can't take it when media gets on him for anything. The guy sets up burner accounts to yell at fans that are talking bad about him. Like, come on, man. So, yes, he can't take that stuff. There's a lot of people like him in the NBA that can't take that circus that comes with it too.
Right.
And in those guys' eyes, LeBron is always right, and he controls the media. They feel like he controls what comes out of these media members' mouths, and they don't like that either because they don't get the same freedom that LeBron does. LeBron can say whatever he wants, and nobody questions it.
Well, and it's not like LeBron is making like outrageous statements or anything like that.
No.
It's just what Durant was saying is, you have so many media members that are all over LeBron.
Fanboys.
He called them fanboys and groupies because they'll report that LeBron had a turkey sandwich for lunch. That's what he's talking about.
Right.
And I agree with that. It's so stupid that
these guys have to have their beat writers. They gotta that's their job. They gotta find something to write about. And you know what? Sometimes there's nothing to write about, and LeBron is polarizing. So they're doing that's the best story they could get that day, and that's the one that's going to get the most reads, so in the most likes and hits and all this crap on everything now. So I don't blame them for that. Yes, I agree. It's LeBron. He's the greatest player.
Take it easy.
Playing in the NBA right now.
Okay, thank you.
He's no. I mean, I believe that is over the last 5 years, he's the best player in the NBA.
Over the last 10, yeah.
I mean, this guy he's on the Mount Rushmore of basketball players. I truly believe he's put himself on that Mount Rushmore at this point in time. He does, that stuff. He's earned it. He's earned to have somebody write about his bologna sandwich.
I mean, it's not what he's going for. I don't think he tried to earn it.
No, I don't think so. But it is what it is. They're going to love him. They're going to be his fan because he's the greatest.
There are a lot of people who, for whatever reason, get into if there's a report that LeBron bought a new car, something like that. Like people want to know that for some reason. I don't care if LeBron bought a new car. I'll probably catch the story because it'll be on something, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, right. That's a cool car. That car's stupid, or whatever." But really, I'm not. I don't want my beat reporters or my NBA writers or whatever. I would rather see real content. I would rather see interviews with people and stuff like that. These
guys want content that people are going to look at, that people are going to get on and click on. That's what they want. That's what these people want.
Right.
I know what you want. That's why you're not the editor of any of these, whatever they are now. Is it even a paper anymore?
Right. Yeah. No.
But that's the thing. That's all they care about.
because there are too many people that do care about that and react to it.
That's exactly right.
And get on social media and
LeBron's
say
the
something
greatest there
stupid
is
about it or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, that's the gist of what Kevin Durant was getting at is if you play with LeBron James, the media is going to be crazy. Every single little thing you're going to be asked about. What did you think about LeBron doing this? What's it like playing with LeBron? You are exposed so much more just a chaotic environment. And he called it toxic, which sounds a lot worse than probably what it is. But at the same time, Brian Windhorst said that he talked to Kevin Love after this came out, and Kevin Love said, "Look, that's true. There are some really tough nights sometimes because things don't go well or whatever, and maybe LeBron's upset or whatever, and then they come to you and say, LeBron said this. What do you think about this? Is he taking a shot at a teammate or something like that? Because everything is going to be blown out of proportion.
Why?
Anything
Because who said it?
Because LeBron James said it.
LeBron James.
There you go.
I've been needing to get that there
Good
for
work.
a while.
Good work. So anyway, Durant kind of went off on that, and I think it sounded a little worse than he meant it.
Yeah.
He was saying, though, that, look, I don't blame – they're going to have a hard time getting other stars.
And that was a big part of it, but I feel like there was more to it. There was a lot of it was people have to change – stars will have to change their game to play with LeBron. Look at guys like Chris Bosh. Look at guys like Kevin Love, who were studs and top 10 players in the league, went to play with LeBron and became spot-up shooters.
Yes.
And completely changed their game, which – good for them for knowing what they had to do. That I think it's more impressive for them to completely change their game that way than it is for LeBron to come in and turn a team into a championship.
Yes.
Because LeBron's the greatest, he can do that. But these guys are stars, and they are completely changing their game to play with him, and you're not going to see that from these young stars anymore. I don't think you're going to see that as much anymore.
Yeah, and that's what Kevin Love kind of said too. Was yes, that was part of some of the tough nights was having to stand there in the corner waiting for his pass from LeBron if they helped off, and maybe getting 14 or 15 or something like that instead of 32 and 16 rebounds. Yeah, 32 and 20 like he was getting in Minnesota.
Right. And a guy like Kyle Korver who can become a better player by playing with LeBron because he's able to actually take what he does best, and that gets improved by LeBron, by him standing there waiting for LeBron to give it to him to stretch the defense. Whereas you got stars who now have to pull their game back. So it's the way LeBron plays can make so many people better. Stars, great players, it doesn't work that way. And look at Kyrie Irving was the same way. Kyrie needs the ball in his hands. And when you play with LeBron James, you're not going to have the ball. You're not going to have the ball in your hands.
And that's the difference. Kevin Love and Chris Bosh were willing to take that back seat, change up their games a little bit, maybe give up some money because maybe they get to sign one more contract as a big star player, as the number one guy on a team. Instead of that, they're giving up probably a little bit of, although I think they signed
at this point in
they
time,
signed max deals anyway.
Max deals, you're getting max.
But they gave up their success, their numbers. I mean, that's all going to go into Hall of Fame stuff and your legacy and all that kind of stuff. You're giving some of that up in order to win a championship because that's what LeBron brings too. He's gonna if you are willing to change your game, you're going to be in the finals probably.
Yep.
Well,
not
and that's the difference.
8 straight years, 9 out of the last 10.
Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, those guys were willing to change up and deal with some of the difficulties of doing that in order to be on a great team with the best player in the world. Kyrie Irving, not willing to do that. And that's exactly what Kevin Durant's saying. There are a lot of guys that are not going to be willing to do that.
And I got no problem with what Kevin Durant said. I have no problem with any of it. I think he spoke the truth. But I do think that that feeling is in a lot of NBA superstars' heads. They've seen it happen to a couple different guys now. And it didn't really hurt Bosh that much as it hurt Love. It hurt Love. Kevin
But
Love
he still put up pretty good numbers. I mean, he still averaged 20.
But look how he's viewed now. Kevin Love became viewed in a completely different light. Kevin Love was a top 10. That dude was legit. He had a double-double. What was it? Something like 40 straight games he had a double-double the year before he went to Cleveland. And he was known as being an absolute superstar. He struggled, and when he struggled over there, he got lit up by the media and everybody else around him.
He also went through some injuries. He went through the whole
mental deal.
Right, yeah, where he had the panic attack or
and
whatever.
That could have been a big part. That's what I think that has something to what Kevin Durant was saying too. I believe that playing with LeBron James could probably turn you into a mental head case.
And it wasn't that he was a mental head case. It was he just had
anxiety,
like right.
It's a lot of pressure to play with the greatest there ever was.
It is, and I'm sure some of it was that, but that's more of a personal thing that you either have that or I mean, you can develop it, but yes, but you're right. I'm sure some of that was you're in the spotlight now. Imagine that you go to Cleveland to be in the spotlight in a whatever in the sports world. Yeah. Anyway, it was an interesting thing to hear from Durant. It was, people right away were like up in arms about it, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's saying nobody wants to go play with LeBron. He was just saying he understands because you in a lot of cases have to change the way you play. He specifically said, not LeBron's fault. The media circus. Yeah. The media circus is the problem here. It's you have to part of it is the changing your game if you're a star probably. Yeah. And that's they talked about, they asked other players about it, they asked Chris Bosh about it, they asked Trevor Ariza about it, and those guys kind of said like, yeah, that's why Paul George was talking about going to LA, then LeBron went there and he decided to stay in OKC. Yep. That's why Kawhi still
talks about going to LA, but now he's talking about going to the Clippers.
Exactly.
So yes, there's that. I completely agree with you.
And those guys are similar players. They play the same position, and they're kind of similar players in that those guys are the number one options.
Yeah.
Actually, Paul George is probably the second option on that team, but he was the first option in Indiana for years. Yeah. So, and he has that skill set. So, those guys are used to playing that way. Kawhi is still a really young guy who's on the upswing. He's going to be like a top 3 MVP guy for the next 5, 6, 7 years probably, whether it's with Toronto or the Clippers or wherever he decides to go. It would be tough because that would probably change that if he went and played with LeBron. That's exactly what Kevin Durant was saying.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's exactly. I feel the same way. I think I'm with you on that one. I don't know if there's anything to go against except for the fact that LeBron James is the greatest. I don't have anything. I feel like there should have been another word after I said greatest, but I got nothing. He's just the greatest. Look at speaking of real quick. Can I just tell you something? Can I tell you something?
Sure.
If the playoffs started right now, the Lakers would be the 5 seed, and they are trending upwards, my friend. Do you know why? Because in the beginning, he wanted to let these point guards be point guards.
Because Josh Hart.
Because LeBron James started putting the ball in his hands. LeBron James became the leader down the court instead of having it being Rondo, who does nothing but get in stupid fights and have it in Lonzo's hands. No, LeBron took over, and since he's taken it over and had the ball in his hands more than he did earlier, they're winning games. It's LeBron. He's the greatest there is. That dude is. All right, I do too much, and I'm making you hate LeBron.
No,
James
that's another. I was going to say that's another good example of exactly. Look, Lonzo Ball. You would think he would benefit from playing with a guy like LeBron James. Really, his development could be, and people were talking about this when LeBron signed. It could be hindered
because he's not going to have the ball in his hands. You have to have the ball in your hands. Unless you're going to be able to shoot and stuff like that. But I don't know if it's going to hinder a guy like Lonzo.
See, I think it is because he's more of a passer. He's more of a playmaker because he can't shoot.
Right.
So if he can't shoot and he's not going to have the ball in his hands very often,
so what's he doing out there?
What's he doing? He's not playing defense.
No. What's he doing out there? So, yeah, I agree with you then. Yeah, in that case, yeah, But it's the same reason why anybody who normally has the ball in their hands can't play with him.
From a learning the game mental standpoint, I don't know that there's any smarter player than LeBron James. You can learn a ton from playing with LeBron James on his team, but are you going to get valuable in-game experience? No.
No.
For a guy like Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
Other guys maybe.
Yeah.
Guys that complement him well. That's exactly why you put Kyle Korver around him. That's why you put Mike Miller around him. That's why you put those shooters around him, because James Jones and
he made guys like Tristan Thompson and J.R. Smith, and who was the tall old guy, light skinned dude.
Oh no,
the light skinned dude for the
Anderson Varejao.
Yeah,
when they won it?
No, I was talking about when they won it, but Varejau's another good example. Got no-name dudes. He's an older guy. No-name guys that
Channing Frye.
No-name guys that are role players. He makes them better. He makes role players better. He makes role players a lot of money. Tristan Thompson got a max deal. That dude,
he has a skill set that translates
that's
to.
Fine. I agree, but he's not a max player.
No, he's not a max player. No, he's not. There are a lot of guys that have max contracts that are not max players.
But he's one that is getting money because he played with LeBron James.
Yeah. Yep. Because he can go out there and get 8 offensive rebounds and have 15 total, and that's helpful. You don't have to do anything. That's all you have
need
to
to
worry
do
about.
when you got LeBron on your team. That's all you got to do.
Catch lobs once in a while, but
get the offensive rebound and throw it directly
back
to him.
Stick it back.
Throw it directly back to LeBron, because more than likely LeBron's following his shot, and you can just grab it and throw it up.
That's not true at all.
Throw it up. He's such a fundamentally sound basketball player. Never takes plays off.
He is pretty well.
Those are jokes. I'm just
I can find some
everybody
examples of that.
Think about the workload that he puts in, though. He's a very good defender. Yes, he takes some plays off on defense, but this dude has to carry a heavy load all game. I got no problem with him taking a play or two off. He steps up when he needs to and plays D every time it's important or if something's going on. And I know every possession is important. I know Coach Adam, how it is. But this dude, he carries a lot more than anybody else in the NBA, and it takes a little bit bigger toll on him. Except for maybe Russell Westbrook.
Not everybody else. Yeah, there are other guys that have that usage rates are as high or higher. But yes, I know what you mean. He carries a big burden.
All right, I'm done. I'm done talking about. I'm done being a fanboy. I'm done, KD.
That's exactly who KD was talking about. He was talking about.
He's talking about me. I'm a fanboy. I can't help it. I don't even know where this started.
Go tell me about what
Episode 2.
LeBron's having for dinner.
Bologna sandwich. All right, so we're the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. That's pretty much what we got for you today. Don't forget to go on and vote. Number one, Elfrid Payton, the umbrella hair, versus number 3, the floating hat.
Lonnie Walker,
the 30th or something like that.
The fourth.
Yeah. So, do you think there was a second, or do you think there was a junior?
Well, there was probably a junior and then a third, and then because his dad would have been a third, and his grandpa would have been junior.
So how do you become the second? Like if my grandpa is Christopher James Witt and my dad is Randall Witt, and then he names me Christopher James Witt, am I now a second? Because I'm not a junior, but I got my grandpa's name.
Maybe that's
is that how you become a second? I feel like there's some seconds out there. How do you become
like
the
old
second?
kings or popes? Pope John Paul II.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess his grandpa was Pope John Paul.
Not the crazy thing is with popes. That's not even their real name.
I know
they get a brand new name when they become pope.
Yeah, Sister Mary, whatever.
Sweet. That's pretty cool. I don't want to be.
Become a nun, and suddenly your name's
Chris.
Mary now.
Yeah, I'm done being Chris. I'm going to become Pope, and I'm going to become
Pope John Paul the 90th.
John Paul the 52nd. Yeah. So anyway, get on, vote on that. We got the nosebleedsports.com under construction, coming soon. You can catch us on Facebook. Follow us there. You can catch us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Apple Podcast, Castbox, YouTube. If you want to follow Adam on the tweet box, you can catch him at
Adam Schmidt 44.
You catch me at Sick With It. SICWHITTIT.
Thank you. It's good to spell that out because that could be spelled
it's
a lot of different
It's a little
ways.
different. Yeah, it's a little different. So, it's just being stupid when you create a Twitter account.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is.
That's your nickname for like a group of your friends,
A
right?
group of people, yeah, somehow. So anyway, check it out. Follow us. Comment on the stuff that you listen to. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell down there, and it'll tell you every time we come on, and be a lot of fun.
Tell us why we stink, or why we're okay, or what we should be talking about instead.
You
or
got anything
what
you
like
guys
about
want to
what we
hear?
said? Yeah.
We a lot of times we got a lot of fans that tell us what they want to listen to and what they want us to talk about, and we throw out there. A lot of people have been pushing us out there, and we appreciate that, and we'll try to keep coming at you, and you guys keep listening.
Sorry, we're talking NBA every week.
It's going to happen at the end. It's if you can listen for an hour, you're going to have to listen to a half hour of NBA.
Once football's over,
it's going to be a lot.
It's going to be
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot.
We're
You'll
opening
get used
with
to it.
NBA.
You'll get used to it. Trust me. You guys will all become NBA fans.
This is going to be a basketball / comedy podcast once football's over.
That's right. We'll try to get a little more comedy involved. Don't forget to turn your headlights on.